Hello and welcome back to the Common Colt Podcast, a Colts podcast that's real takes and no clickbait. I'm Josh Hudgens, joined by Dan Hertzler. Dan, how you doing?
I'm doing good, doing good. Just enjoying another middle of the week, middle of, well, not middle, but March Madness. Getting excited for that. If you're a college basketball fan, as I am, I'm looking forward to that. But hey, we still got some Colt news. We got some major stuff going on. A lot of buzz about one guy coming off the combine. You and I have a kind of a maybe similar opinion on this, but maybe not like everyone else out there.
Yeah,
Josh, what do you think?
Anthony Richardson is getting hyped up big time on Colts Nation, Colts Twitter. Other NFL people are saying, hey, this dude has a legitimate chance of going top 5, possibly to the Colts. Some people are mocking him number 1, getting team straightened up for him, or the Texans just taking him. Either way, Dan, we give one-word reactions. What's your one-word reaction to Anthony Richardson possibly being a Colt or getting picked top 5?
So I'll keep this really simple. One word, no. As simple as that. No. Here's the thing. The last thing you want to do in drafting is reach for a player. The one exception is quarterback. I think quarterback, you've got to get the quarterback that you want. To me, there's 2 quarterbacks that the Colts need to get. That's Bryce Young. That's C.J. Stroud. Will Levis, Anthony Richardson, the guys we're talking about here, these guys are getting too much hype because their game tape does not match what we're seeing to their athleticism. And that's the thing that concerns me with that. These guys are not doing it in the game tape when you look at their college play. And to me, if I'm the Colts and we don't get the first pick and we're picking at 1-4, I'm going defense. I'm getting a stud on the defensive line. And then I'm going and looking later rounds. Hey, we've seen it before. Jalen Hurts, 2nd round pick. Dak Prescott, 4th round pick. Wilson years ago was 3rd round pick, all the way back to Tom Brady, 6th round pick. It's rare, and I'm not putting my faith in the Colts finding a super stud later, but it can happen. And I do not want to reach for either of these 2 quarterbacks, specifically Anthony Richardson, as we're talking here in this episode, just because he had an amazing combine. These numbers coming out of college, specifically the accuracy numbers, those things do not change. The only exception has been Josh Allen over the last 10, 15 years, and I do not like our chances that Anthony Richardson is an exemption of that rule, and so I would not touch him at 1-4.
Yeah, for me, it's a resounding no as well. That's my one word as well. Honestly, I look at the college stats, and I see he only played 1 season, Anthony Richardson did. Yeah. 17 touchdowns, 9 interceptions, 53% of his passes completed. Compare that to C.J. Stroud, 41 touchdown, 6 interceptions, and a 66 completion percentage. It's not even in the same ballpark. These guys are way different. You look at Richardson in the combine. What do you see? A guy who, yeah, he's athletic. Yes, he can jump. Yes, he can run. But when you get to the throwing drills, and what does a quarterback do, Dan? They throw the football. You see Richardson struggling a little bit on the out routes. His footwork is not as smooth as C.J. Stroud. Stroud throwing beautiful touch passes, hitting his guys on time, in stride. Whereas Richardson, there's a few examples of some out routes that he's missing. And I'm not saying this guy to be perfect in the combine, but that just exemplifies what we already seen in his college tape at Florida, which is inconsistency when throwing the football. And I think, and I get what a lot of people are saying. They're saying, hey, if we could harness this raw power of Anthony Richardson. The guy's fast. He's a beast. He's athletic and all this stuff. But listen, I'm here to say that when I watch Anthony Richardson and I think of his 40 time, which is really the big deal people are making, like this guy's just fast. He's strong. He can jump. I think the 40 time's overrated as a quarterback because the quarterback I want when I'm building my dream quarterback, obviously he's got to have a good arm. He's got to be accurate. He's got to be able to read a defense. And I want him to be able to escape the pocket and move around. But I don't want him to necessarily I don't think he needs to have that straight line speed. Patrick Mahomes, 4.8 40. That's not that fast for a quarterback. But what is he? He's creative. He can throw from weird arm angles. He can dance around. He can move. But when he gets in open space, Mahomes is not a graceful runner. I'll tell you that. He is not he's not a breakaway speed guy. Russell Wilson in his prime, he was not a breakaway speed. He had even a little more mobility than Mahomes, but He was agile in the pocket. He could evade, but top line speed is a whole lot different than agility and being able to cut and move in the pocket. I want a quarterback who can avoid the hit and throw weird arm angles over a guy that just has straight line speed and is this almost a running back at the quarterback position.
Yeah. Yeah, to me, they would have to completely overhaul a whole offensive scheme. We saw Baltimore do it with Lamar. They had a lot of success. Yet now there's some questions whether that's their future. That's where they're going. That's a whole nother topic. You see Willis, the kid out of Liberty last year, who went to the Titans. Sorry, super hype. Everyone's talking about it, what he could do, and then you see him out there. He really couldn't complete a pass. The quarterback position is about playing the position. You've got to be able to manage the position. I'm not talking about game manager. I'm saying you have to understand what to do, when to do it, make quick decisions, have the arm to throw it. Yes, if you have the athleticism, man, that is a bonus. That's a huge weapon you can have. You've seen it with some other quarterbacks. You know what? Maybe Anthony Richardson, and I think his ceiling could be off the charts. Yes. I agree with you. I think he has some amazing potential. But the floor is so low that the Colts cannot take that chance. And it's the same thing I feel with Will Levis, out of Kentucky. I think he could have a cannon of an arm. But you look at some of the tapes, you look at some of the decision making. It just scares me. And I do not want that at my quarterback position. That's not who the Colts want. There's too many studs on the defensive side at 1-4 to pass up to take this gamble. You could trade back now with the Colts. That's an option that we've talked about, and we could keep talking about that option, and maybe that's something you do, and you get one of those quarterbacks maybe in the mid first round, and you pick up extra picks. But I am not taking either of those quarterbacks at 1-4.
Yeah, I think if you can't get to pick one or move up or get Young or Stroud, I think you have to trade back, honestly. And I'm not. When I titled this video, "The Colts should not draft Anthony Richardson." ... top 5. I'm not. I mean, there's a spot in the draft where I think this guy is. Yeah. You get your bang for your buck, but the top 5 in a draft for the Colts, especially, I'm out on that. I don't think it. Maybe a team who is so needy of a quarterback who can make quick decisions and I mean, we have nobody at quarterback right now, and this guy, whether they want to admit it or not, is a project passer. And Will Levis, I'm completely out on. I think that guy is, at best, a poor man's Carson Wentz. I've watched this guy's tape now, and he reminds me of Wentz a little bit, honestly. More, some people compared him to Josh Allen before. I do not see that at all. Yeah. I'm not seeing it with Richardson. I'm not seeing it with Will Levis. It's the Stroud and it's the Bryce Young show, and it's going to be that way for me for really the rest of this offseason until the draft. I just can't wait till these pro days.
Yeah, and I think we're going to know that too, because I think the Colts have to get to 1-1. If they stay at 1-4, man, it's going to be a scary proposition for them to get one of those top 2 quarterbacks. I don't think it's going to happen. It's what I think. So if they are stuck at 1-4, the price was too high, some team jumps ahead of them. I think they have to be really serious about going defense and then looking for a young quarterback later on, and then figure out which free agency starts coming, I think, next week. The reality that they might have to get a veteran quarterback to come in here and actually kind of hold the fort down a little bit. So it's going to start getting really interesting. All this speculation, all this talk, we're starting to move. I think it's 50 days until the NFL draft, which will come up pretty fast. And so, Colts, we got to pay attention because things are going to move here. And I think when you see the Colts move up, you know what's going to happen. And if they don't move up, I think that's going to mean something too.
Yeah, it's interesting, guys. Let us know what you think in the comments. Make sure to subscribe to our channel, obviously. Are you out on Richardson like we are? I know we're kind of going against the grain with this one a little bit, but hey, we got to speak our mind and we got to speak what we believe, and this is just what we believe. So let us know what you think. Comment, subscribe, and until next time, thanks for watching the Common Colt Podcast.